Hey there, I'm Decky. So, I've been thinking about this topic for a while and I haven't really found the right time to sit down and talk about it, so I figured I'd do it now whilst I'm driving. So, it's a topic that I've been thinking about for a long time. This whole idea of using dating apps to find a potential partner. And especially if you're a gay man and you're trying to find a partner using dating apps, it's something that I've personally struggled with a fair bit, trying to find a partner through a dating app. Having said that, I have had two relationships that happened because of dating apps. I think there's limited other ways that you can meet another guy in this day and age, so a dating app is kind of the default, unfortunately. And I say that because I'm not a fan of dating apps. I've used them a fair bit in the past to just try to meet potential partner, but on the whole, they're not something that I would encourage other people to use. And the reason for that is, there's a few reasons for that. The first one, and I think this is a obvious sort of reason because you hear it around a lot, but you know, the whole notion of when something is free, you're the product. So, you know, of course, dating apps have like some sort of subscription service, but the barrier to entry, the ease of access, they're free. You don't have to pay to use them straight away. And extending from that, when you're the product, you come to productize, I think that's the word, you come to productize other people on the dating apps. So, you know, if you're watching this, I'm sure you've used Tinder or Hinge or whatever else there is, but you're just going through profiles, you're flipping through profiles like it's a shopping catalog. And you know, what do you do when you're going through a shopping catalog or an online catalog these days? You know, you see something that you might like, but then you sort of think, well, I'm gonna shop around and see if there's something better. And that's essentially what it comes down to with dating apps, is that, you know, you see somebody that you like, you're kind of interested in them, but then you think, well, there's probably going to be someone else better, someone else that might meet this extra criteria. And I think a lot of people do that. I'm guilty of doing that myself, I'll admit that. But it's not, I don't think it's a healthy way to try to meet someone. If you sort of look at this through a societal lens, the whole notion of having access to potentially hundreds of potential matches, that's unheard of throughout history. It's not really a normal way of approaching a relationship, in trying to establish a relationship with a potential partner. So I think it does something to you mentally when you are going through a dating app and you're scrolling through and there's these endless profiles of other people. And, you know, this applies to heterosexual people as well who use dating apps. It's not a thing that is solely confined to gay men, although I think it affects gay men a lot more worse. But when you're going through a dating app and just, choosing and picking however many people you want to speak to, it's a bit of a unsettling notion that, sorry, there's just a crazy driver here. It's always bothered me from the perspective of, okay, I'm like talking to one person, and now I'm talking to two people, and now maybe three. It's like, it's kind of weird to be talking to so many people at the same time. It feels disingenuous, and it's like you're having to convince all these other people on why they should continue talking to you, and why, you're worth their attention. It's just not, I don't find it to be a healthy way to get to know someone. I mean, if you look at the friendships you've had throughout your own life, how did you get to know them? Well, you got to know them over time, and you become close with these people, and over time it becomes a close friendship where you can trust in that person. I feel like dating apps sort of take a shortcut through what should be a friendship building experience, and it just sort of fast forwards to a place that you should be reaching in a natural, organic way. So I think the point I'm getting at is dating apps are pushing this whole notion of, you can find your potential partner very quickly. It's like a get rich scheme. It doesn't quite work out that way. And I think the other point about dating apps is it gives you this notion that the grass is greener with somebody else. So you could already be in a relationship with someone, and I don't know, for whatever reason, you might think to yourself, oh, this isn't going the way I wanted. It's not what I expected. But I can just easily end it because there'll be somebody else available to me on this dating app with hundreds of profiles. And I say that because I know what that's like from personal experience. So I wasn't the one who did that. It was my ex-partner who did that whilst we were still in a relationship. He just went behind my back and started using Tinder. So that's how I understand that point of view of, hey, I'm already in a relationship, but it's not what I want it to be. It's not working out. So I'm going to start to look for a replacement, because the barrier to entry for that is non-existent. You just go into an app and there you go. There's all these new potential matches. So I think that is a cause for concern, just because I mean, like, when you're with someone, you should try to work through whatever issues there might be. I think people these days give up too easily, and primary reason for that is because they know that they can get onto a dating app and find someone else. So I'm just gonna pause here for a moment because I'm heading to the airport and I think I've lost my way. Okay, I'm back. I found my way to where I need to go. So having said all that, there is some value to dating apps, especially if you're a gay male. There is definitely value in being in this sort of environment where you know every profile there is they're also attracted to other men. It's difficult to have that in a real world setting. I mean, you can't just go to a random bar and you see another guy that you find interesting and you think, well, I'm gonna go over and like talk to him and ask him out on a date or whatever. It doesn't work that way. The only venues where you can do that are gay bars, and I think they should be the last place where you do something like that, because they're generally not the sort of venues where you will find relationship material. Speaking from personal experience, and I'm sure it's pretty common right across the board for other guys. So, you know, yes, there is value in dating apps that are catered towards gay men. I think it's more of an issue with, you know, the culture, society, whatever it is. That is probably more of the issue in terms of why it seems to be so difficult in trying to find a potential partner for gay men in general. So, and then you have the issue of the sort of dating apps that are available for gay men. I mean, not all of them are the sort of app you want to use to find a potential partner, assuming a relationship is what you want. So there's Grindr, obviously. That is not a app for finding a relationship. You will find nobody that is relationship material on that app. And it seems like a lot of other apps that have a like same-sex attraction feature, like Tinder, and Hinge and Bumble, even then it's pretty difficult to meet someone who's solely there looking for a relationship, because again, I've found a lot of gay men are just interested in hookups, and again, that's a cultural thing that just translates to wherever a lot of gay men happen to congregate. So they carry that with them onto other apps outside of Grindr. Which leads me into another point about the whole notion of the gay community. I think it has a lot of issues itself. It's not a healthy community. The sort of things that a lot of gay men advocate for, and just the sort of things that become mainstream and associated with being gay, a lot of those things, a lot of those stereotypes are very, very damaging, very unhealthy. It's like, I'm sure everyone knows what the sort of stuff it is. It's just advocating for a hedonistic lifestyle. You know, hook up with a random stranger, have X amount of sexual partners because, hey, that's what life is all about. And then you get to your 40s and you're incapable of pair bonding with another human because you've spent all this time just short-circuiting that part of your brain that is meant for relationship bonding. So just need to merge. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of what constitutes the gay community. I never have been. I've never associated with it. You know, with the whole pride flag thing and all of that. I dipped my toes into it through my ex-partner just to see what it was all about, and sort of it confirmed all of my thoughts and ideas about it. You end up encountering some very judgmental and nasty people, and unfortunately a lot of them are just interested in pursuing a hookup lifestyle. They don't care about forming monogamous, committed, long-term relationships, and a lot of gay men will decry that sort of lifestyle as being heteronormative. It's a pretty sad way to look at things, and I think if you meet any gay man that gets to his 40s whose prior life experiences have constituted a stream of hookups, or they've been in open relationships, which is another common thing. I think what you'll find is, and I've encountered this myself, is you'll find very lonely people, very also emotionally stunted adults. These end up being people who, in some bizarre way, are still stuck in a high school mindset. So that's really the end road when it comes to embracing the whole idea of being gay as according to the mainstream gay community. It's a pretty sad, lonely life, and I've met a few guys like this, and like, you can quickly tell a lot about the sort of life they've lived when they get to that point in their life in their late 40s and they're still single and they're approaching relationships as if they were a teenager. And maybe there's a reason for why they end up that way. Like, I'm not trying to generalize or paint everyone in the same brush. I've had someone once explained this to me, that because gay men haven't been able to live out their life as, you know, from when they were a teenager, they haven't been able to pursue romantic interests the way straight people have, that, you know, it's this like trauma thing that is stuck in their mind. So they're always having to go back to that point as a teenager in their mind and compensate for having missed out on, what they didn't have. And I'm not sure where I stand on something like that. I think there is some legitimacy to it, but also at the same time, I think it takes away from a person's sense of agency and free will. And it kind of also sets up an excuse of, I'm this way because I didn't have the same opportunities presented to me as a teenager. So this is perhaps a topic to explore for another time, but at face value, I'm inclined to mostly reject it, although I recognize there's elements of it that might be valid. So yeah, I guess those are my main thoughts. Just wanted to summarize them. I'm nearly at the airport, so yeah, I'll talk about this some more another time. Thank you.